Hi friends, welcome to Mimosas and Chismosas, the podcast for mujeres who were raised to be quiet, perfect, and grateful, and instead became opinionated, exhausted, and done settling. I'm Kat, and if you're navigating generational guilt, healing your inner child, and trying to look hot while processing trauma with that dark humor, then I got you. Grab your mimosa, take a deep breath, and let's talk about the shit that no one warned us about. Hi friend, welcome to Mimosas and Chismosas episode 3. So we're going to just drink mimosas, get tipsy, and cope with our trauma through dark humor. Honestly, Jessie, I'm so excited to finally meet you. I feel like it's been like 2 years because I started Mujeres 2 years and we started following each other and our schedules just never seem to work out. I never plan the podcast. I literally have like notes and I creep on my phone and I'm like, yeah, it'll work as we drink. But I don't know. How were you kind of brought up? Was it really that hustle, work hard, and it'll be worth it?
Yeah, definitely. I think my mom kind of instilled it in us from the beginning. Like, you have to go to school once you're done, like, and you have to get a corporate job and make sure that you're doing everything right. Like, I felt like I needed to, like, if I didn't make it, it was like going to shatter all her dreams. And then my siblings are a lot older than me and they kind of didn't take the right path. Yeah. They're all over the place. So I was her last hope.
Are you the youngest?
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Okay.
So I became her like last hope of like, somebody needs to do it right. Yeah. Right. So I kind of feel that pressure all the time where I'm like, okay, they didn't give her the dream that she wanted and like how hard she worked for us in our dreams. So now I feel like I'm trying to do as much as I can.
But do you feel like you're kind of doing her dream sometimes?
Sometimes. I think like there's certain things that now, like doing content and like opening up and all that to different things that I really enjoy doing is more my dream.
Yeah.
But I still have that corporate side there where it's like showing that I've kind of made it in their eyes.
No, I honestly,
you know what I
the
mean?
same.
Yeah.
So like, I think I would have been, I took the wrong path. Like I was like, nah, school's not for me. I fucking hated school. Like I can't concentrate. I can't do anything. And I took so many years off and I worked promo like for years.
Yeah.
Like I call it the OG influencers because you're here like influencing everyone to have these like drinks and stuff. And I worked for like all these brands and that's what I did for years. And my mom hated it.
I was gonna say, how does she feel about that?
She was like, this isn't a real job.
Yeah.
But I would work like sometimes 16 days straight, like no days off. You're wearing heels. Sometimes you're doing like events where you're like touring. Like I used to do for Jägermeister and you'd be from like one end to another.
That's crazy.
It was fun for me, but she definitely wasn't happy.
Yeah.
So, you know, I gave myself like an age and I was like, hey, at this age, I'm going to stop the promo. I'm going to like get a serious big girl job. And I do love my job, so I'm happy. But I think I did give her that headache where it's like, this is not it.
This is not it. Yeah, for sure.
And like, even my family still doesn't understand my page or like what it does why I talk about mental health. Cause I always tell them, I'm like, yeah, you know, like I'm taking meds for these. And they're like, you don't need meds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I think the same thing when I first opened up to my mom that I had anxiety, she was like, that's not a thing. Yeah. Like you're just deciding to not do certain things. You're just afraid. Like she would just tell me that I needed to get over it and like did not understand at all until I had my first real panic attack. And even then, like the doctors were trying to explain, I was like translating to her and she was still like kind of like, I don't know if this is actually a thing.
Yeah.
And then she experienced a panic attack and she was like, I never knew what this feeling was. And like, as soon as having a panic attack, like I realized what you were going through. And I realized like she was never lying. Like this is an actual thing. Like, you know?
I feel like they probably had them. They just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Especially like males.
Yes.
Like, and shout out to June, Men's Mental Health Month.
Yes.
You know, maybe we'll bring one day.
Yeah.
But I think they hide it so much. Like they don't understand. They don't like cry. Like I don't think I've seen any of the guys in my family ever cry.
Yeah. I have a lot of family members that are the same, that they like will not cry in front of everyone. I'm sure that they've cried behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But in front of people, like, so many.
But just being pushed to work so hard. Like when I'm not exhausted, I feel like I'm lazy and I'm failing. Like I feel like my worth is in how hard I work because then I get that validation where like they're proud of you.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I feel the same way.
Like, have you found it's changed like with your parents? Like, do they understand a little more?
Yeah, I think my mom has completely changed for better, for sure. She has understood so much more why I'm doing what I'm doing and like why people struggle or how they struggle with mental health. And she's done a bit more of education on it. She also doesn't really speak English, so a lot of it is like
same,
you know, yeah. So a lot of it's coming from us, but then she's also on like TikTok and Instagram, and she's seeing stuff, and she's like, okay, I get it now. And she's so much more receptive to things when I speak to her about like, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. She's like, yeah, that like sounds like it would be good. But yeah.
I feel like moms are easier to like learn things and accept a little more than like dads or males. But I don't know. I still have family member that they're like, you should be embarrassed like to be talking about this.
Really?
Like, you know, they're like, people are gonna think you're crazy, and I'm like, I hate hearing that. I'm like, you know what? Let me own the crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think like, everyone's a little crazy in this world. Like every single person has a bit of crazy.
Because when I started the page, I was like so nervous, and I was like, this is a lot to talk about, and like I link it a lot to my personal one sometimes, right? So I think I was more nervous about when I link videos, not in the mujeres community, because I feel like, okay, you're falling for that reason. Yeah. But like my friends and other people that I've had, and I see them and I'm like, I still get anxiety. I'm like, they're totally judging me. They're probably like, you know, this is weird. Why are you doing this? But
I feel that too all the time where, especially with my Words You Need page, it popped off on TikTok first where like I didn't have anybody following me that I knew. Like nobody really even knew that I was doing it aside from like anyone in my very, very close circle. And even then they weren't seeing my videos. Yeah. And then I don't know who it was. I think it was one of my best friends, I believe. Yeah, that she told me one day, she's like, you need to start posting it on Instagram. I'm like, no, because there's so many people that are going to judge me that I know. And so I did start it on Instagram eventually after I got over the fear, I guess. But within like, I don't even know, maybe like 2 months, it started popping off and then people were seeing it. Like I wasn't even linking it to my personal page. And people were like, whoa, is this you? Like, that's crazy, whatever. So I got like good responses and then some bad responses as well, where I felt like some people were like making fake accounts to say stuff and like to message me and I was just ignoring it. And then there was a lot of like, I don't know, I would repost it on my personal page and I could see like my followers dropping down and stuff like that. So I'm like, I seen that judgment. I didn't feel it fully, like, but I knew it was happening in the back end. Yeah.
I do miss those apps where you could see who unfollowed you because I'd be like, I'm gonna follow you for fucking back.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I get it, and it's so tiring. But I also feel like I feel burnt out, and I didn't know what that meant. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Because it was always like, work hard, it's gonna be worth it in the end. But like, I feel bad for our parents because they've worked so hard, and it's like, what is it? So I feel like I have to give them that. Like make them proud, like you said, but I'm like, what is it? Like, what are we working so hard towards? Yeah. And like, I have like bad ADHD, so like I can't focus, and sometimes I don't do things. So I think they see it as like, you're being lazy, right? And I'm like, it's not that I'm lazy. It's just like I choose to try and work smart, not hard. And when I say that, I even feel bad saying it, like I'm not working hard, but like I just think it's easier, right? Trying to balance now. I
say the same thing. I say it all the time where I want to work smarter, not harder. Yeah. And I'm still doing things that I enjoy, which is the side hustles of doing content creation. And I think that that's like what keeps me sane. That I'm like, I'm doing something that I actually enjoy versus, and then I'm still kind of keeping up, I guess, whatever, the corporate side or like the front of that I have it all together or what the norm is or what our parents would expect the norm to be.
Yeah. Right? What makes them proud.
What makes them proud. And at the end of the day, that too, I'm like, I don't know when it'll all be enough. Like when I have a house, when I have a kid, like when is it like, okay, she made it. She's good.
And like, honestly, you're right. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like there's no finish line for us because we weren't taught what a finish line is. Yeah. Right. So like I have a house and I was like, okay, once I get a house, like I'm going to feel like I made it. And like, I am grateful, right? Like I have a house and I sit and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy I have this. But then it feels like, okay, what's next? What do I have to accomplish next? Yeah. And like I said, sometimes I just want to be like, fuck all of this. Like I'm just leaving the country and going to go do nothing and like sell coconuts on the beach. And like,
all the time. I feel that way too. Anytime I go on vacation, I'm like, what would it be like if I just moved here?
Right?
Yeah.
Like I
just lived off the land.
Well, yeah. Like, would you make as much money? No. But would you have to have all this stress? Would you just be kind of chilling? Which I've brought up to my mom and or my family, and they do get it. But it's also like, we worked so hard. We did all these sacrifices to bring you here. Yeah. And you want to leave and go back home.
Yeah. And
I'm like, yeah, kind of. Like, I liked it back home. Like I went recently and I was like, it's so chill. Like I don't have to, worry. And like I said, I do like my job, but it's like it's hard to think like, okay, when is it going to be enough? And like, what am I working towards?
Yeah, because most of the time I feel like we are literally working to live, not living to work. Do you know what I mean? Like we're just always on like the thought of, okay, when's our next vacation or when's our next time off? And so we're just working, making money to have that little window of time off versus like, why can't we just have that all the time and like have some income coming in somehow, like maybe not as much money, but you're just like relaxed and you're not always on the go.
The fact that you're basically living, you have to have something to look forward to have that motivation is so hard because it's like, it shouldn't be like this. And like to be completely like honest and like overshare as usual. I was so depressed for the last like 3 years, like badly, but it was also because I wasn't properly diagnosed. So I wasn't on the right meds. And I wasn't doing therapy like I should have. So no matter what meds I was on, I was so depressed and like trigger warning, like suicidal. Like it was so bad. And I would go out and I would think it was a distraction and I would just feel like shit the next day.
Yeah.
Right. So I finally got like the right meds. It took like a year to even out and I started feeling better. And then I think what really woke me up was seeing how sick my mom is. And it's like, she didn't do anything. Like she didn't get to travel. She didn't do anything. So it's like, suddenly the last couple of months, I feel like I woke up, or maybe it's a midlife crisis, who knows? But I feel like I'm like, shit, like I feel better. I feel happier. I finally have like the will to live, which sounds so fucked up.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I want to do something with it.
1,000%. I've been there. And that's why I started like my Words You Need page, where I went through the same thing. I think my whole life I had anxiety. Nobody really believed me. And so undiagnosed probably my whole life. And then once I got to my teenage years, I started having like really bad anxiety attacks, panic attacks, like to the point that I'd be at work and I'd just start freaking out. They'd have to call the hospital, all of that. And like my mom for a very long time was just like, you're just like stressed. You're just like, it's too much for you. Like you need to figure out like a better plan for yourself, kind of a thing. It was never like, okay, we need to figure this out. You need to go to therapy or like any of that stuff. So for a very long time it was the same. And then I had like someone pass away that was really close to me. And that kind of just did a whole shift for me.
Yeah.
Where I went into a depression. So added with anxiety and the depression, I had the same thing, like very much where I just did not find a reason. I couldn't find a reason to live. And that brought me into doing my own research and realizing like, okay, I need help. I need to like go to therapy. I need to get diagnosed and see what I have. And then I took meds for a while as well and realized like, okay, there's so much stigma around it. Cause as I was telling my mom and my family about it, they were like, what is this? Like, why are you taking medication?
They think
like,
they're addictive.
Yeah. My mom thought the same thing. Literally, she was like, I feel like this is going to mess up your system. Or like, there was always something that was like a bad connotation around it. Yeah. Anyone that I told until I realized like, no, there's not. And I did more research. I'm like, this is like, we need this in our lives, especially if you're actually medically depressed. Right. So I've been there and I understand you as well in that aspect.
And like, I think this is like a weird topic too, because I know people feel weird about it, but I think a lot of our family thinks you can be cured through prayer.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
And I know, like, I'm not personally religious.
Yeah.
And, you know, when people are, I respect everyone's different opinions, but I'm not personally religious, but my family is. So it's, you know, you don't have to be. And I've actually had friends who are like, you should get off your medication because, you know, you just have to do yoga and really get aligned and like, you know, go to church. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not religious, but I feel like, okay, if let's say, yes, this is real, like, you know, you're going to be getting tools. So maybe the tools that the universe, God, whatever you believe in is sending you is therapy and meds and things like that. Like you can't just pray it away or use Vicks. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's hard and mine's like hard, right? I'm like, I literally, there's like an imbalance. Like you can't function. Like I can't without, fix it, right? It's either I'm really high or I'm really low. So this keeps me just in the middle, which is nice. But I'm pretty like, it sucks being so self-aware because I can always tell, like when I'm too happy, I'm like, I'm like, no shit, I'm just going a little manic. Like, wow. But there's just so much. So trying to see that balance where it's like, how do we still make them proud and still keep our sanity? Yeah. And I think it brings boundaries, which is so hard with our parents. Because I don't know about you, I get so much guilt setting boundaries. Like,
Yeah, I have tons of guilt trying to set boundaries, but I learned probably within the last 2-3 years, it's so necessary.
Yeah.
You have to set boundaries for your own sanity, for even them, for them to like have a better relationship with you as well. Cause it does mend a lot once you start setting boundaries and they respect it. Then it's a different story if they're not respecting it. Right. But it's important. Yeah.
I mean, as our parents get older too, you're finding you're parenting them.
Yeah.
So you're doing more things for them. And I'm sure when you were little, you were doing things for them, translating papers and stuff and doing all that. So it's hard because now you're parenting them. So add that on top of everything else. And especially as a daughter and the youngest, you get more of it than I think sometimes if you have a brother or something like that, right? It's on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel the same? Are you youngest?
I'm the youngest.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that too. And my siblings left when I was very young. So I was probably 7 when my mom started saying like, can you call the credit card company for me and ask like how much I owe on my credit card?
Did you have to pretend to be bills?
Her? Yeah, I would have to try to pretend. And even now I still try to do it for her. And sometimes like if I get an answer wrong, they're like, oh, you sound very young. And I'm like, well, I am 64. So I have to like lie just to get through to them. But yeah, that was always a thing from like 7 years old where I was trying to help her figure out her life. Too.
And you have like an anxiety attack pretending to be like a grown up and calling, and I'd be like, I don't want to do this.
And I would ask my mom like, okay, so what's your security question for this? And she would have no idea. So then I'm like, okay. And then she gets mad at me and we're like arguing. And I'm like, you need my help to do this. So why are you getting upset?
So like chill.
Yeah,
because I would have that too, where it's like, or the passwords. Oh do you know how many times I've changed my mom's like Netflix or everything password? And I barely remember my own.
I know, and then you have to remember another set for them.
It's so hard doing all that when you're young, doing all those things, calling credit card companies.
Yeah,
the anxiety it would give me because I'm like, if I get caught, like something's gonna happen. Yeah, but like I think going also back though to like the side hustles, like I'm so glad you do yours, but you have a balance and you enjoy it.
Yeah,
because I think when it becomes a chore instead of like a hobby, it kills it.
It does. Yeah. I think I teeter on that here and there where I have moments I'm like, oh, this feels like a job now and like a second job. Right now I have a lot of pockets where I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying this is good. But then there's sometimes like I'll get contracted on something where I'm going to get paid to go and do this experience and make this video. So I feel more pressure. And at that point, it's like, if I bring like a group of people to the experience, I'm usually not enjoying it. I'm recording. Yeah. So I realize in those moments, like, oh, I'm actually working at this point. Like I'm not enjoying what I'm doing and not just like in the moment and just having like a few clips here and there. It's like, I'm actually trying to like create this content for somebody else rather than myself. So I teeter on that sometimes. And like, I realize that comes more with getting more popular and getting people those like contracts. Right. So yeah, I don't know. There has to be a fine balance there. Or eventually it's like, I need to leave my corporate job, which I have so much fear of doing that because that makes me feel like, what if I do leave my corporate job and then I don't succeed in this other area? I've failed completely. But also if I leave my corporate job and I do succeed, like, will this be looked as a real job to my family and my parents? Like, am I going to get judged because this is now my full-time job? Yeah. So I have like all these thoughts and it's all centered around my family too, right? Like
and
what they're going to think. Yeah.
Exactly.
My upbringing.
Yeah. So, and I know what you mean. When you're doing it for someone else, you're not even that, you don't even remember the experience. No, it's like, did I have fun? Yeah. Like I don't remember. And you're so good at capturing. I'm really bad. Like I need to capture more for my page. Yeah. But because I end up just being there, I forget to get clips. I forget to get clips. And then I'm like, oh, well, I got nothing. Like even this Mexico trip, maybe I got like 3 videos because the rest I was like, I don't care. Like I just
because you want to be in the moment.
Exactly. Yeah. Where usually I'm like doing this and taking stories and all that stuff, but you're also I can't do an aesthetic video for the life of me. I tried making one where I'm like pouring coffee slowly. The coffee fell everywhere. I was like, well, that
happens to me sometimes too, and I'm just like, oh, this doesn't feel real, and then I just give up. I'm like, no, I don't want to.
But you're still very natural. I feel like I can't get an aesthetic like vibe. I just can't. Like I'm just like
you'll try.
I'm just like, messy. Like and I try, but I'm like I am who I am.
Yeah. So and sometimes it's just good things to show too, right? Like to show the messiness of stuff and like the realness.
But yeah, I know. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Like I'm glad you're finding that balance because I think that's really hard. And it also brings like the next thing I want to talk about is like taking care of men. That's also such a big expectation. Like you should get their plates first.
Oh my God.
Right?
I grew up with that mentality, like it was so bad to the point that even my sister, she has 2 boys, and she would call me while she was at work. And I think I was just in college at the time. So I'd be home and we lived in the same building, and she's like, the boys are coming home from school. Can you go serve them their plate? And I'm like, what do you mean? They were like in grade 8, grade 9, right? And she was like, oh, it's like ready there for them to serve. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to go serve them the plate because they should know at this age how to serve. But even her, who she's like a little bit older than me, not that much older. And she had that mentality in her head. And I was like, you need to start teaching them that they need to serve themselves. And so the first few times, okay, I was like, fine, because she would get upset. She's like, no, just go. Like, and then, so I started like telling them, and then she started teaching them as well that eventually like they need to do it themselves. But she had that as well with her kids, where she was like, no, I need to serve them, or their plates need to be served.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, anytime, you know, like when I started bringing like boyfriends home, it'd be like, okay, go make him a plate.
Yes.
And I was like, why am I making him a plate?
Yeah.
And like, I always had that like attitude where it was like, why am I doing this? And it's like, well, why are you talking back? Like, just do it. It's your man. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, why am I doing it?
Yeah, why can't
like,
he do it for me?
Has him.
Yeah.
And they like, you know, it usually like wasn't anyone who was Latin, like.
Yes.
So it was kind of like, oh, why? It just gets
they
awkward,
would also,
right?
yeah, be like,
why do I have to? Like,
yeah.
So I'm just, it's still a thing, right? It's
Yeah.
like, do this, do that. And I'm just like, why is it all on us?
Yeah.
I am just so tired that sometimes I'm just like,
yeah.
Like my side hustle was making cakes for years.
Okay.
Like I was booked out like 6 months in advance.
Wow.
Okay. Like I was doing like
didn't know
weddings.
this.
Yeah. I think
cool.
my biggest wedding cake was like 7 tiers. Yeah.
What?
And the stress that would come.
Why'd you stop? Because you were stressed?
Because it became a job.
Oh, got it. Yeah. It wasn't
really
a passion anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Like I have to do one today when I get home. But like I take like one order like for regulars. But I was taking, I think my busiest weekend was 13 cakes.
Wow. That's insane.
And at first it was like, this is fun. I'm learning how to decorate. I enjoyed decorating. And I did it for like, I want to say like 3 years straight.
Okay.
Like every weekend booked out on top of my real job.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm doing so good.
That's a
I'm
lot.
so proud of myself. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to have money for my down payment. And now it's just like, I don't like it. And it's sad, right? Because
Yeah.
it's such a chore. Even one cake now, it's such a chore that I wish I knew how to balance and not drain myself there. Because I was still working a
Yes.
corporate job.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
So
to
I
handle.
truly just drained
Yeah,
myself.
you were basically
so
working
much.
2 full-time jobs without even realizing that you were. Yeah, so you burnt yourself out.
So I'm just like, now all I ever want to do is sleep.
Yeah.
But it's so hard. Like, I think being that first gen, just all those expectations. And I think that's why I was like, we're so alike, but we're so different too.
Yeah, because I think even when it comes to like also keeping up a social life and also having to go see your family, and then on top of it, you're trying to work and do this and do that. There's so much expectation there, because that too, I feel like I moved out from my mom's house like about a year ago, and I felt like she would have little quips here and there. It was like, I never see you, or I haven't seen you in this long, blah, blah. I would call her and she'd be like, oh, que milagro. Like, what a freaking miracle that you're calling. I'm like, I called you 2 days ago. Okay. like, you know, but there was also that expectation where I'm like, there's just so much to keep up with to like, yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. Well, hence our schedules, right?
Yes,
like I feel
that
bad.
too.
Like my friends will be like, let's do something. I'm like, I can do something last week of August, the first week of September. Like, cause you're trying to balance, you know, like job, side hustle, partner, dogs, which we both have, right?
Yeah.
So, and that takes a lot of time, a lot of money, and it's just, So I'm still trying to figure my end goal. Like, I don't know if you have one. Like, what is it like you're working towards, you would say?
I think I still battle with it. I think I still go back and forth if I want to go all in to content and just make that my like primary, or keep what I'm doing right now. And that's like, and just have both. But I don't think there can ever be both, to be honest. Like, unless I want to succeed more in one, then I need to drop one at some point.
Yeah.
Or it'll still keep this balance of like, okay, this is just like a side thing and won't really ever grow, but it's there. So I think I'm at that point right now where I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
But you're so like motivational. Do you find you take your own advice?
Yeah, I talk to myself a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely talk to myself a lot, and I try to take my own advice, but I get stuck in like the what ifs. Like, what if this or what if that? So I have my moments, but yeah, I don't think it's the time yet to go full throttle on the content.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I have a good job right now, and it's paying well, and that's my steady income. And I keep thinking like, I want to eventually start family planning.
Yeah.
And I need like that consistent income. And so that's what's tying me to staying with my corporate job as well. But I think eventually I will decide that I need to let that go and go full on with my content.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of the dream. I'm hoping that my mind doesn't change once I have a child.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that I want to stay with that consistent income. But I think like maybe I can get my content into like being my primary income, and just trusting in myself.
No, that's good. Like, because I always I'm always like, it's good you listen to your own. Like, I find I question myself so much. Like, I'll say these things and I believe it, and then my brain just battles itself. And I was like, does this advice apply to me? Like, does it, And I'm always second guessing myself, second questioning myself. And I don't even know how to get out of my head. Like, I'll come to you because I don't know how to get out of my head.
Yeah, I think I still have that, but not as much. Like, because most of my content for Words You Need was very much derived from stuff that helped me, stuff that I would see, and I'm like, oh, like this really, really helped me, and like it shifted my mindset, and then I share it. So it's something I believe in and that I feel like has helped me. But then, then when it comes to my real life and making decisions, sometimes I still second guess myself, and I'm just like, I need to trust myself and my intuition. Yeah.
Well, your content's grown a lot, like in the last little bit.
Yeah.
So you're doing all these things. So I'm like, I'll wait till she posts some recommendations and then I'll go. And I'm like, again, being so tired and burnt out, I'm like, I don't want to think about what to do.
Yeah. That's the thing too. Yeah.
But what about like with your fiance now? Do you find he has like that mentality, that like Latino mentality? Because he's Latin, right?
He's
where
Ecuadorian.
like, do you find like he's expecting like in the beginning like you go make his play? Do you make his play?
No, he is the complete opposite.
Okay.
He's, I think, like maybe I would say he's second gen at this point. Because his mom pretty much grew up here. So he doesn't even speak Spanish that well.
Okay.
He's going to hate me for saying this. But yeah, his Spanish is not great. So he grew up more in a Canadian household, I would say. And so never that expectation. I feel like his role model growing up, his stepfather was very much like catering to his mom. So I feel like he's the same. He's like more like he'll cater to me rather than me catering to him. And that was also different for my family to see, where they'd be like, why is he serving you? Like he would get my plate and ask me if I want this, if I'm okay, and check in on me. And my mom would see that and be like, whoa, I've never seen that. Like she'd never witnessed that in her life. So she looks at him like, oh my God, like you're such an angel. And I'm like, this is like what a man should be doing, catering to his woman, right? So yeah, he has a very different mentality. I don't see that, but I still do it for him. Like I'll still of course, like I feel like we have a good balance. If one of us is not feeling as well or is sick, like we have that balance of one will pick up more of the slack than the other.
Okay. So yeah, that's really good. And like he supports you. And I think it was that video you posted of, was it not the driving princess?
Oh yes. The driving prince. Yeah.
Which got like millions of views.
Yes. Yeah. It's crazy because that was like such a quick video that we made, and we thought about it because we're like, I always randomly like feed you while you're eating. And sometimes I don't, but I'm like, it's a thing. Like sometimes we do. And so yeah, that video got a lot.
But it's nice when it's coming like organically, like you want to feed him or you'll want to make him a plate, but not because you're told.
Exactly.
Right. Like I think that's where I rebel a lot. If I'm told, I'm like, fuck this. Like same. I ain't do shit.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, trying to balance, it's so hard.
Yeah.
But like I'm so glad like I met you. Like I feel like you've been, really inspirational. I'm going to be completely honest. Like I'm that person that if you tell me like do yoga and read this quote and I'm having a bad day, it makes me more mad. I'm like, nah, this is bullshit. Like, don't give me this. Like, I have a little bit of anger issues sometimes. So it's just like, once I sit down and it comes like, you know, I'll see your videos and stuff, it's different. Like, I'm like, okay, let me listen. It's just when I'm told, goes back again. And it's like, oh, read this book, do this. And I was like, no, like, don't tell me what to do. And I think I have to get rid of that because it's probably like a blockage too on certain things that I could remove and learn in life just because I have that block. But like, you know, working through it in therapy.
But I get what you mean because I have friends that say the same thing where like there was one friend who, like she told me like, do you ever feel like it's toxic positivity that you're putting out into the world? And I'm like, no, because I do feel like I have a balance of having real videos where I'm like, this is, it's going to be bad. Like for a long time, you're going to feel crappy, but like, it's going to pass. Like, so I'll still be very real about what you're in, but not always just like super positive. Like I'll make sure like I'll end it with something positive because at the end of the day, like everything is going to be fine at some point, right? But yeah, somebody asked me that once and I was like, I can see why people would feel that way, especially when you're down in the dumps, because I've been there where it's like, I don't want to listen to no one. I don't want to hear what anyone has to say. Somebody could be telling me like the best thing ever. And I'm just like, no, like nothing matters. What you're saying, yeah, nothing matters. Yeah, literally, you just want to be a hater. You're just like, no.
When I'm mad and people give me solutions, I'm like, I don't want solutions. Like, let me be a hater in peace. Yeah, because you're just so mad. So like, I love that you're like aware of that because there is a lot of toxic positivity about a lot of things. Not just quotes, but just so many things. And I'm just like, can you be real? It's so hard to tell, so like what's real on social media and what isn't.
Yeah.
You know, like I try to post and my embarrassing stuff, which is when I'm not doing well, because I feel everyone posts the best stuff. You're going to post your best picture.
Of course. Yeah.
You're not going to post. Like, I remember I had one once, like, I'm going to post before I go out, not after I've eaten a full meal, right?
Yeah.
Like, you do that. And I think it's good to remind people it's not always like, you're going to have a great day. Everything's going to be like, you're right. Like, shit's going to suck. Sometimes for a year,
really long time,
for a really long time, right? But you also kind of have to find that courage to finally want to fix it yourself. Like it's not going to fix itself. Like time doesn't fix everything. Like you do.
Yeah, it's literally always on you. You're the only person that can fix anything in your life.
Your mentality, how you look about things, setting those boundaries, making those changes, and it's so hard for Latina. So it's so nice when I find other women that really relate to me. And I still love that there's a difference between, everyone I meet and how we see things. Cause I think we can learn so much from each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is how you do it. Maybe that'll work for me. Like, let me try that.
Yeah.
I'm encouraging you. You want to be a hater for a day? Be a hater for a day.
I have my hater moments. Like, trust me. You can ask my fiance. There's sometimes like he'll give me advice and I'll be like, no, I already thought of that. No, I don't. No, that's not helping.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be like, you know what? I just need to be mad. I just need that moment to like, and then I'll apologize later on. I'll be like, I'm so sorry. I was in my feels, but like I needed to just be mad.
You don't want logic sometimes.
Sometimes you don't.
It's illogical. And I'm like, can you not? I'm like, I don't want that. I'm like, he's like, this is simple. Just do this. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, I just want to be mad. I just want to
sometimes you do
complain and be mad and then take a nap and you wake up and you're like, well, I overreacted a little. But I think it's just working towards that. And I feel like I'm child free. Like I won't have kids. But I'm so happy to see, when people do have kids, teaching them all these new things.
Yes.
Because like, how would you do with your child if they didn't want to go to school? Like, I don't, like how are you going to handle it?
Yeah. I definitely don't think I would handle it like my mom. I'll tell a story that like honestly traumatized me for such a long time, that my mom, my mom's a single mother. So that's like the main person in our life. So she's always had to be very like strong. Yeah. And so we moved to New York for a bit and I was going to school there. I was new and some girls started bullying me because she said I didn't look Dominican enough and that my hair didn't look like I was Dominican, that I was lying basically.
I didn't know you were Dominican.
Yeah, I'm half Dominican, half Ecuadorian. Yeah. So she was just like, your hair doesn't look like our hair. Like you're lying. Why? Like basically just like taunting me. And they started doing stuff. Like they would bully me, like throw things at me, all this stuff. I didn't tell anyone, but I didn't want to go to school. And my mom would beat me. She would beat me and be like, you need to go. Like, and like, I would just cry because I was scared to even tell her because she was like hitting me because I didn't want to go to school. And then for a very long time, I think it was like maybe 2 to 3 weeks, I wasn't going to school secretly because my aunt was like, my mom would leave to go to work and my aunt was staying home. And so one day, like my mom found out that I wasn't going to school for like 3 weeks, and she freaked out even more and was like, why didn't you like say something to my, like her sister? She was like, you're hiding this. And she's like, well, something has to be wrong. Like there's a reason she doesn't want to go to school. Like, you know, your daughter, she likes school. She likes going to school. Like there has to be something wrong. So at that point, my mom decided to sit down and ask me. And then, yeah, I just cried telling her that I was getting bullied at school. And she like, she felt so bad, of course. But like her mentality was like, oh, she just doesn't want to go to school. I'm going to like make
back
her
to the lazy.
Yeah exactly. Yeah, and that's what she would say. She's like, oh, you're just lazy, or like this or that. So yeah, that lives rent free in my head all the time. And I think if there's a reason that a child doesn't want to do something, there must be, like, maybe they are lazy, maybe, but at that point, like, you need to identify, like, you need to make sure that that's what the case is, and then try to find a way to like work through that and find things that would actually interest them to go to school, and ways to encourage them rather than like push them and tell them like, no, you have to, just because you have to.
Yeah.
Right.
Because then they're going to resent you.
Yeah.
And like, I know,
1,000%.
like we're going to wrap up soon, but just to say like, you got, I think everyone gets bullied, but I think like Latinas get bullied a lot. And I found a lot of it was coming from other Latinas. Yeah. And it was like, you don't look like us. Because for me, it was always like, you don't look Latina. Yeah. Like, you look white. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, like, what do you want me to do? And I got a lot of that too. And it's just, you know, I think one of the reasons I like meeting new Latinas like yourself, because it's like, okay, we share that same mentality. We grew out of it. We're learning from it. It sucked. Yeah. But we're healing from it. Yes. And I still see some girls who at this age, I'm like, you're still bullies. Undercover bullies. You have that fake positive, fake nice. And it's like, I see you. Like, I'm sure you see people looking at your story, but not liking anything ever. Yeah. 1,000%. And it's like, you gotta like remember, like, okay, it's not on me. No. It's on them.
1,000%. Yeah. I definitely still see it. I think it's prominent, and it sucks to see, because like we should be lifting each other up. And especially in Canada, I feel like we have such a small community versus like the US of Latinas, that we should all be just trying to be there for each other no matter what. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's still that envy, like it's it's not even jealousy. I feel like it's so hard to explain in English, like the difference between jealousy and envy, because it is envidia. It's right? Envidia. Like it's not celos, it's envidia. Yeah. And I see it a lot, but I'm sure you've had people reach out if they need something from you. Yeah. But they won't like your videos or when it could, or they want advice or do things like that. So it takes 1 second to like things. Like anytime I see someone's videos, I'm like,
all the time. I'll try to even comment if I can. Like, I'm always trying to support, especially if I see somebody just starting out. Yeah. I'm like, I know what it feels like to be there. I'm going to 1,000% support you, especially if you're a Latina. Like, I want to see you win. Yeah. You know? But yeah, I definitely can see that. And it is envidia. I feel like, and again, that might be something that was instilled in us growing up, where it was like, you need to be the best, or like look a certain way, or do a certain thing. So like maybe you see this person doing all the stuff that you were taught that you should be doing, and it's you
always had to work so hard to do better than people. Actually, I was told something. My mom was like, the only thing you should have envy in is how good people do in school. And I was like, I'm not envious of how good people do in school. Like, I don't care. I fucking hated school. Yeah. Not only like getting bullied, I just couldn't concentrate. Yeah. Like, I could not concentrate. Like, I got kicked out of school, and I was like, well, thank God. Yeah, you're like, I got a beating, but it was like, thank God. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. So no, I totally get it. And I'm so proud of you. I love seeing you grow from like 2 years ago. Like, seeing you grow from like far. I'm like, she's doing so good.
I love what you do. I really, really admire it as well. I think like you were talking about earlier about doing events and that kind of stuff. Like, I can't do that. Like, I will do my content, go out and do all these experiences, but like planning a whole event is a whole nother level, like another ball game to do. So I'm really proud of you as well. And I like to see you like
I find I'm good at the planning. Yeah. The filming the stuff. I'm like, anyone get videos so I can like put it together. Like, I am really trying more for the Mujeres page now to put on it, because I started it when I didn't have a job too.
So I had a lot more time. Yeah.
So now I'm here. Thank God for ChatGPT, right? I'm like, give me ideas for this. And it's like, just sending me things. So no, you're doing so good. And watch, like in a year, I just keep seeing your page grow. It's doing so good. So like, again, is it underscore or is it just words you need?
It's on Instagram. It's at words you need _ Yeah.
Underscore. That's at the end. Yeah. So for all your motivational quotes, just make sure to follow Jessie and her personal page and all the fun events you do around Toronto.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. I hope you're not like nervous anymore.
No, I'm not.
It got better.
Yeah, I got better.
The mimosas helped.
Yeah, it helped. Yeah.
Thank you.